Yo, you guys have fun? We got a special guest. You know, guys, I want you to make a lot of noise in Boston, Massachusetts. Bird! Oh, the bad sounded weird.
How is everyone doing today? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Washington, okay? And the reason I have decided to go live and speak on this topic is because I've been a guy who's never dated anyone in my race. You see, I grew up in a small town in Texas originally. My father was in the Navy. He made his way up to Washington State. We end up going to a nice place. We end up moving to the suburbs, if you will, okay, in some ways, okay? And when I was there, I noticed that I grew up in an environment where I didn't have anybody who looked like me, okay? I want you guys to understand this. I didn't have anyone who looked like me, okay? So my whole life, basically, I grew up around a certain group of people, okay? I've adapted the way they've, their culture. I've adapted the way they speak. I've adapted the way they do a lot of things because that's what I came up around. And my question to everybody is, what is your experience in interracial dating, especially in 2025? Okay. As I said, I'm one of these guys who's grown up and I've never, ever, ever dated anyone of my own race. Not one time. And the funny thing is, it's like they can almost see and tell that I'm a person that has never dated someone who looks like me. I've dated, you are now listening to TSLK. And they've all been white women, okay? I have experience, okay, with white women, okay? I can tell you all about it. I can tell you what it's all like to be in an interracial relationship, okay? I've been into relationships, some were 15 years long, all the way down to 3, 2, a year. I've never had anything less than a year relationship. And they've all been with white women. And what I see is coming up out here, what I start to notice is that a lot of people can be jealous. A lot of people can be judgmental. A lot of people can judge a book, okay, just based off the cover instead of the contents that reside inside of that book. And what I have noticed is everywhere I go and everywhere I've ever been in my interracial relationships, we get these types of looks, we get these types of vibes and energy thrown at us, okay? And for the most part, sometimes it could be rather uncomfortable. But the fact is, I've been up around it so long that I'm comfortable in my own skin, okay? And this plays a big part on how I came up. This plays a big part on how I was raised. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like there isn't something positive that came from this, where a lot of people have problems with dating other races. And I just want to know, from my own standpoint, how many of you are in interracial relationships? How many of you have been in an interracial relationship? How many of you have dated someone from an opposite race? What was your experience like? Okay. Are you still currently doing it? Are you against other people who are dating in interracial relationships, and why? Okay. Because this is just the biggest thing that I'm confused. Okay. I'm confused on how people, all right, can judge other people for being happy and not understanding their circumstances. And it puts people like me in a predicament when I'm out here in the modern world and I'm trying to date someone of my race. I have no experience in that. Little do I know, I don't even have probably even the ability to communicate properly, okay? And this has caused me, probably relationship after relationship with people who actually look like me. And like I said, my experience has been fully with dating women, okay, of other races. I've never dated a single woman who looks like me. And it's just not because it's by choice, okay? It was because of the way I was brought up. It's because of the way that society has shown me to be. I have adapted into where my surroundings were, okay? And if you cannot tell that by the way that I talk, probably by the way that I dress, the words that I use, okay, you can see that this is what's, molded me. And the issues that I'm having out here trying to date someone in my own race. Because there's a communication barrier, I believe. Not in all aspects, but in most cases, what I've learned, okay, there is a vibe aspect to it, okay? I don't dress the part. I'm not one of these people out here who are wearing Jordans. I'm not one of these people out here who are falling into that category, okay? I'm a person who walks around classy. Not saying that that's a certain class, certain group of people in race, because anyone can be classy. Okay, I believe more that's of status. Okay, being classy, and I like to be classy, not because that's what I saw. It's just because that's what I like. Just because you've grown up in an area doesn't mean that you're going to be affected by it. Okay, you could grow up and be your own person. You could be a person that just comes out here, okay, and you're different than everybody else, but you grew up around those people. Essentially, this is what I am, okay? I'm a version of melanated on the outside, but I've grown up around what we might call, okay, a different part of society. Okay. And like I said, this is one of the main reasons why it has been hard for me to date anyone in my race. Okay. I've been dating for a very long time. Like I told you guys, different girlfriends in my life. And every single one of them have been white. Every single one of them have been a woman from an opposite race. Okay. And I don't want to sit up here and say that I can compare all women, because I can't. I can only tell you from the experience that I've had with dating women of all of the same race. Okay. And I hear a lot of people who say women are different ways and different groups, different races are different ways. And this is all some of the things that we're going to be, touching on. These are some of the questions I want to ask. These are some of the things that I need to know, because you got to understand, interracial dating comes with a whole new aspect of society. It's just the way it is. It's the way that this culture is here. Okay. Unfortunately, this is what you're going to have to, learn how to deal with when you're in a relationship with someone of the opposite color. Okay. You're going to have to see things that they see that you might not have seen before. Okay. You're going to have to walk in situations and fill out vibes, okay, that you may have never noticed or never seen before. Okay. Because again, unfortunately, we all do get treated differently based off of we're a male, based off we're a female. And then, of course, race falls under that category, right? So everyone can be treated differently, okay? And if there's a top, then there's a bottom. So you would have to try to understand on both sides of the spectrum on how people are treated. And this is what I see in interracial relationships. This is what I see in this type of stuff. I see people, okay, who experience different things when they're in those relationships, okay? And I'm one of them, okay? There's been plenty of times I've gone out with my girl, bro, and we've gone to restaurants and we've hung out, okay? And we've got some kind of mistreatment, okay? Little do I know that my girl has gone to this restaurant with different groups of people that look like her, her girlfriends, friends, family members, and gotten completely different service. I've gone places with my girl and I've had people, mumble things up under their breath, okay, underhand compliments, okay, to me while I was with my girl, thinking that I'm not smart enough to hear what's going on, okay? And for this reason, this is the big question, okay, about interracial dating. Do you understand the things that come with interracial dating? Are you going to be able to deal with all the societal norms? Are you going to be able to deal with all the stereotypes? Do you believe that it's okay to date people of other races? And why not? Do you understand that things are going to come with dating other races? Okay. I don't think people understand the things that come with dating other races. Okay. Sometimes you'll have people in the family that might not like, the thought of their family member dating someone another race, which creates a whole nother problem, creates a whole nother issue. And I'm not saying you should be concerned or bothered by these things, but these are all things that you have to take into factor. Okay. If you're going to be in an interracial relationship. It's like they're pushing this on the mainstream again, okay? And once again, people have been doing this anyway, but they're pushing it on the mainstream. So anytime something's being pushed, that means more of it is going to happen. And the problem is a lot of people are uneducated on both sides of the spectrum, okay, about, these races and what to do in the relationship with other races. And this is what I want you guys to understand. It is so much more complicated than we have been led out to be. And this is why I, as a melanated man, as a black man, okay, have had issues with dating other women of my own race because of all these different things that have been put into place, okay? And now that the dating market has gotten even crazier in 2025 with social media taking over all these different platforms, all these different apps, Okay. All of these so-called other options that people never take advantage of. So they're basically not even real. It's being delusional to think that you have all those options of people who are on social media just because they follow you or like you. The problem is people need to understand what options do you have that are close to you? What options that you have are realistic? What options do you have that are going to be right for you? And this is the problem with social media. Social media is adding to all this. Okay. It's making it more harder and more harder for people to communicate in a sincere, genuine type of way. Okay. And with that being said, if you're especially trying to be out here and you're trying to date interracially, okay, other races of people, okay, and you don't understand their culture, you don't understand where their race of, people look at you and your race of people, okay, you're going to run into a lot of issues because people are pretty much free to believe what they want. This is supposed to be America. This is supposed to be, home of the free. People are allowed to believe and practice and do whatever they want. And these type of things that come with interracial relationships where you're not prepared with them can jeopardize your relationship, okay? You could break up. You could have problems just based on the outside influencing your relationship. Again, there's so many different things in these relationships that people should be questioning, people should be asking, okay? And I'm one of those guys who like to break down exactly what's going on, okay? Because I don't see color, okay? As much as society is pushing that, as much as society you'll see in my group of race, you'll see it in other groups of race. They push not to mix with other people and not to date other people. Well, the cold heart fact of the matter is, my friends, is that we are all mixed with something, okay? We are all mutts walking around here. Ain't nobody walking around here with no pure blood. Okay, those are technically what we call blue bloods. Okay, those are elite-ish people who practice, words that I don't want to use to keep their bloodline strong. Okay, within the family, if you know what I mean. Okay, that is a different type of bloodline. That is more of a pure bloodline. We are not pure blood walking around here. Okay, we've all been mixed with something to some degree. Okay. And for people to look at other people and judge other people based off of that is a big issue, okay? And again, further leads to other problems that you're having in your relationships, okay? These are all the factors that you're going to have to figure out in being in a relationship, especially in 2025, okay? Back then, it was a little bit different. Back in the days, it was a little bit different, okay? But now in 2025, where things have been amplified, okay, social media pushes a lot of trends. Social media pushes a lot of influence. Social media pushes a lot of things that stereotype everyone in general, okay? And these are all the things that you're going to be experiencing while you're in your interracial relationship. Like I said, I can sit here and tell you just about everything from this perspective, from being a black man dating a white woman for 15 girlfriends in my life, okay, and been in relationships for over 15 years with white women, okay. And I can tell you, okay, how exactly it would be for you, okay, based on my experience, based on the simple fact that, like I said, I've been with these women and I see how everything else is being perceived through other people's eyes, including my own, all right? And I think it's something very important for us to be aware of, especially in 2025, because, like I said, you're going to start seeing more and more of this take place. I see a lot of interracial dating everywhere I go. I live out in the Spokane, Washington area, okay? And everywhere I go, every park I go to, every mall I go to, okay? Every restaurant I go to, I see an interracial couple, okay? So I know for a fact that this is happening more and more and more and more and more. And I think the more that it happens, the more it will become a norm. And then, possibly people will let go of all this, division and all this stuff. I understand things are going on. I understand that there's certain groups of people in every single races that are just off. Okay. That's in every single group of people. I'm talking about, Chinese, Japanese, whatever you want to call them. Okay. All the way down to us. There's people in every single race that has issues. Okay. You can't let a few bad apples ruin your whole produce. Okay. That's not a good way to look at it. Okay. There's good people in every single groups of these races. Okay. And for us to be having a judgmental mindset on someone based off stereotypes when we know society likes to push all kind of crazy crap. Okay. We can sit here and we can be for real. We can keep it real. Okay. Society likes to push a whole bunch of negativity. Okay. Society likes to cause a whole bunch of division. Okay. All I can tell you is I would look at my time with being with a white woman no different than it was with being with a black woman. There might be cultural differences. Okay. There might be nuances like that. Okay. But far as a woman being a woman being a nurturer, a lover, okay, a woman being the head of the household, the head of the family, a woman being, that role in your life, all the women are going to be able to play that role. Okay. And like I said, unfortunately, because of the stereotypes in society, the things that we have been facing, there's just going to be a lot of people deciding to try the opposite side. And there's nothing wrong with what they call swirling. There's nothing wrong with anything of that. Like I said, those names are put there in place to question, okay, how you really feel, to question, okay, if you're really, can be affected by somebody else's opinion on your life. And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to, are you going to be somebody, all right, who is going to let someone affect you experiencing love? Okay. That's what I want you to think about. And I'm telling you for a fact, you can't let that bother you. You can't let that hold you apart. If you want to be with your own, that's fine. There's no one upset with you want. If you want to promote your own, it's a free country. You're fine. You can promote whatever you want. But the one thing that we need to stop, out here promoting is division. One thing we need to stop out here promoting is someone being better or superior to another, okay? Or believing in societal norms, okay? Or believing in stereotypes. All that type of stuff needs to be shut down. And this is what I want you guys to be aware. Again, in 2025, okay, dating interracially, okay? I've done it, okay? I have not dated anybody else from my race, ever. Not one. Okay. So I couldn't tell you the experience from that side. And again, it's not that I don't want to or didn't want to. I grew up in an environment with nobody who looked like me. So I was essentially, okay, molded like that. Okay. I was imprinted by what it was that I grew up around. And my very first woman that I ever dated was a blonde hair, blue eyed, 5'9" woman. Okay. And that's who imprinted me. And guess who my last girlfriends were all the way up until my 15th woman, all the way up until my adult life. It was the same thing, a blonde haired woman. Okay. And it's not because that's all I want. You're missing the point. You're seeing what happened. You're seeing how society plays a factor on how we perceive things. Okay. And this is why it's tough, okay, to, date your own race if you've grown up dating interracially, okay? I want you people to please understand what I'm telling you here, okay? This is why you have these issues, okay? Because no one takes in consideration of what's going on. No one takes in consideration, all right, these factors. All right. And then until you do, I would suggest that you do not get involved in interracial relationships because you're going to be affected. You could possibly harm someone else. You could possibly destroy your relationship. You could possibly destroy any type of, future connections based off of, what society likes to push by being unaware and uneducated, okay, of what's being promoted by society and how it's forcing people to think. So that's the important part, okay? And like I said, my relationship, I dated nothing but white women. My very first girlfriend was a blonde. My very last girlfriend was a blonde, okay? That should tell you something. My very first girlfriend back in 9th grade in high school was a blonde. My very last girlfriend just a few years ago, okay, was blonde, okay? So for me to sit here and say that, you know, your environment doesn't dictate your imprint would be incorrect. And this is the factors of all the people out there who are dating interracially are going to have to identify. You're going to have to be aware of these things, okay? Now, we could take it a step further. We could take it a step further by saying once you've been married, once you've had, okay, then things get even harder. Things get even tougher because now you're having little ones that are going to come up that are going to be affected by their surroundings. And most of the time, they're going to be, you know, around all white households or all black household. Okay. You very seldomly see interracial households within the same community. So they're going to grow up with identifying problems. Okay. They're going to be looking at other races and groups of people and notice that they look different. Notice that their parents look different. In most cases that, you know, because of these stereotypes and ideologies, relationships of interracial marriage don't last because of fake status and fake, you know, wealth, you know, type of stereotypes that different groups of people carry. Okay. This also destroys relationships. Okay. So there's so much that people need to think about before dating interracially. Okay. This is a topic that I hear a lot of people, you know, talk about, but they talk about kind of the top of it. Okay. The top of the cake. They don't really tell you everything and all the ingredients that are involved with making this cake. Okay. And this is what I've seen. Okay. This is what I've learned. All right. And it, like I said, it makes it so much harder for a man like me to go out and date a woman on my race based off of what I was brought up like. Okay. Based off how I turned out. All right. And it seems like there's usually a misconnect.
I will not fail, even if I must sacrifice my life.